settled into a new situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you really feel the remnants of who were you after divorce?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I know you finished. Is that a question you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I thought I had some time in there that I was ripping and running after we got divorced, and went to Korea, and then went to back-to-back deployments to Iraq, but we were kind of still in between. We didn't know what direction we was going in and I had some few in-betweens that time frame as well as you probably did as well. But you did?
You killed me trying to even the playing field.
Well, but shit, it's been uneven this whole damn time. They think I'm a goddamn criminal. You think I was holding you on the gunpoint and cheating and shit. But come on now, you gotta level it out. You gotta level it out.
It was not. Don't start, because I even had the chick that emailed us.
Who?
And told us about all the things, all the pillow talk y'all had done.
Oh,
she was not a black girl.
That was after you.
She was not a black girl. But it was after me, but she emailed everybody. Okay. She wanted to tell everybody.
Okay, that's
everything.
But listen.
So what I'm saying is, so she was in between. Was she? Wait a minute. I need to know. Mm-hmm. Where was her position? Because
I don't think she had
was she after the current wife? Excuse me. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Was she before the current wife, but after me, or was she simultaneously?
No, she was just somebody I was talking to in between time. If you know, there was a 2+ year gap there when we were separated, and I'm pretty sure that. What the hell are you doing? Come on, man. Once again, the playing field is not level here. Because you start laughing and shit, it made me look bad. Like I was just doing all kind of criminal shit.
Wait, what was the time? What was the time frame again?
America, time frames don't matter. Time frames don't matter. Come on,
because I need a chalkboard right here. I need to put a flow chart.
You want an O.J. Simpson timeline or some shit?
Okay, so the year. What year is this?
It was 2010.
2010 is when we got divorced.
Well, it was like
so 2010 is when we got divorced.
Okay.
Right? What month was that?
It was like September.
August.
It was like August we got divorced.
We got divorced in 2010. However,
sit down.
No, I needed to be.
You know, you tend to get violent and shit.
I needed to be where it's illustrated out. So, however, 2010, we still lived and slept in the same bed.
A lot.
No.
A lot. What? A lot. We did sleep in the same bed.
The day that we got divorced, we still occupied the same residency. We still slept in the same bed. We still.
So what was okay? So I got to ask you the question. What was the whole purpose of getting divorced then?
Okay, so
did that make any sense?
Yeah. It did.
How?
Okay, because we're getting off track now. Do you need to ask this question now? Because we need to stick to the subjects. Okay. Okay. So the purpose of us getting divorced was, at the end of the day, my expectations of you as a husband is different than my expectations of you as a boyfriend. So apparently, you had some stuff that you still need to get out of your system.
It was.
And so what I said to you always is, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was.
Is that the dumbest saying in the world?
No. It's a saying that I've lived with my whole life. Matter of fact, circa 1997,
what?
I remember laying in a bed. It might have been a water bed.
Okay.
It was a water bed, wasn't it? Mannheim, Germany.
Okay.
And I remember telling you that if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. And so even during that time, I told you that was going to be our motto for our relationship. So when you and I separated and we still lived in the same bed and we divorced, we still live in the same house, we slept in the same bed, that was Because, okay, listen, apparently it's some stuff you need to do as a single man.
No.
No, let me tell you how I saw it.
Okay, hurry up and tell you the story, because you don't took over the whole story again. So
well, go ahead on then.
So no, that's not right nor accurate, right?
You asked me a question.
So let me ask you a question. What is so much different than your expectation of a guy that you're in a relationship with than a guy that you're married to? You expected me to pay the bills, right? You expected me to respect you, right? You expected me to be faithful, right? You expected all these things what you expect of a married man. So what's the difference? So,
as a husband, there are certain things that's expected of you that's not expected of you as a boyfriend. Like,
give me one.
For example, right? If you chose to get up and leave, right? I can't go and say, well, excuse me, but my husband abandoned his family. No, because, matter of fact, if you was to go out here in the streets and something was to happen to either one of us, if you are a single man, they're going to call your mother or your grandmother first. I'm sorry, your grandmother or your kid first, right? During that time. They're not going to call me. So there's just certain privileges and rights that I have as a wife that I don't have as a girlfriend. So same thing occurs. Like, for example,
we're talking about in a legal sense.
Okay, right? We're talking about a legal sense, but we're also talking about we're also talking about the things that I was doing in the relationship. For example, the way that I may have nurtured you, the way I may have nurtured the family. Like if I was the cook, if I'm doing things like that. Those things are not required of me as a girlfriend, although people may confuse the two. As a wife, those things are for me, so the way I see it.
Did you not cook for me when we were together?
Yeah, but here's the thing though.
What, the meals was different?
No. But see, as a girlfriend, I could snatch those things back at any time. Just like you could snatch back your ability to be in the house. Because if you remember, it was more of those times where you started staying out at your brother's house more when we were no longer married. There were times where you were be gone and your accountability was not as it was before. Because
no, I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think so. I think it was still the same.
Potato.
It was still the same because when we was going through those situations in Cali, you and I both know why we were there. It was both of our doing. And so what we always want to do, we always want to point the finger at the man, he's unfaithful and this and that.
No, that had nothing to do with you being unfaithful. You know, we didn't divorce because you were unfaithful. I knew you were an unfaithful guy when I married you.
How you figure?
I knew because you were married and I was married when we started.
So were you an unfaithful girl when I met you?
I was.
So now
I was. Because we were both married when I first met you. The difference
no man wants a what? A woman like him. In the mindset, right?
Was I like you?
Shit, you evidently you was. Shit, goddamn, you just not telling me that, right? You weren't just like me.
Was I?
Come on, think about it, right? If you're saying we were both unfaithful at that point, you were just like me in that situation, right or wrong?
Okay, I mean, there you have it.
And so, damn.
But I mean, there's layers to it.
Okay, what's the layer?
My husband at the time wasn't in the country. Your wife at the time was. So what I'm saying to you is, despite all that, I never divorced you because of you being unfaithful. That was never why we divorced.
So why did you divorce me?
I divorced you because, just like I said before, when you started making me feel like it was easy for another chick to take my spot, and I had to remind you that it wasn't.
So that's why you divorced.
Right, because at this point, and like I said, the icing on the cake for me was when we got into an argument and you called me a bitch.
Had I ever called you out your name before?
You had never called me out my name before, but you called me a bitch.
And there's probably been plenty of times I probably should have called you out your name.
Okay, whatever.
But that time you triggered something.
Whatever you think is justifiable.
Right.
Okay? At this time, we had been together. This was 2008, 2009. So we had been together at this point 16 years maybe, 15 years.
Something like that.
Something like that between marriage and dating.
Right.
And you called me out my name. And I turned to you and I said, we were in California. And I said to you, I said, Numa, I said, you mean to tell me you're going to sit here and call me out my name? I said, I'm the mother to your only son. Right? And then I turned around and said to you, and you said, yeah. And then you turn around, then I turned around and said to you, I said, I help you raise your 2 daughters. And you said to me, somebody else could have done it better.
I didn't say that to you. I think you full of shit now. You're not being fair. You sitting there trying to sit there and say that I said some things to you, but we all have blame in the situation.
Numa, why are you trying to make? Nobody's blaming you. I'm telling
you.
You
are. You kind of are.
No, I'm telling you
this
what
whole
happened
time we've
in
been
that
doing
moment. I'm telling you what happened in that moment. And so, because you knew what I had been through with your first wife, because you knew what I had been through with Queta, the demise of Queta. So all the things, because you know what we had been through with Tweet. So in my mind, we were holding on by a string at that point.
We were.
And so for you to say that to me, and it like negated everything, because the kids was like, so you telling me, because remember, when I married you, I was 27. When Tweet's mom passed away, I was 29, or she's mad just turned 30, or 29 going on 30, when her mom passed away. So here I was taking on not only my one child, but now I got your two kids, all in that same year. Not only that, but my mother was with us. We was taking care of your brother. I was a drill sergeant in the Army, plus I was going for my bachelor's degree, and you were a chaplain assistant in the Army. Your job consisted of you catering to the chaplain, which means that you didn't do a lot compared to me. And for you to tell me like another chick could have done it better when it came to catering raising your kids.
When we're in the heat of an argument at that
time. Well, like I explained to you many a times before, because it's been 17 years, 16 years. Mm-hmm. My story has to stay consistent about that, and that's why you know it to be true. Everybody knows
I know it to be true because
what I'm saying to you is that in that moment, that was now. Here's the thing, it wasn't like that was the one thing that took care of everything. However, it was the one thing, when they say the straw that broke the camel's back. For me, it wasn't because in my mind I told you that when we would get into arguments and you would say certain things, that was the same as a drunk getting into an argument. Like, in other words, a drunk speaks his truth.
Is that necessarily true,
Jerry, but what I'm saying to you is, this is what I will say to you. It's not like what I'm saying to you now is the first time you've heard these things in all these years. Because we've been knowing each other for, what, 29? Yeah. How old is Taz? Taz about to be 30.
He's still 29.
He about to be 30. So we've been knowing each other 29 years. Mm-hmm. So all that I'm saying to you, it's not like it's the first time you've heard it. Okay. So I've said these things to you when you talk about an argument and you say things to people. This is what you're thinking. It may not be your truth, but you have. That's why you have to learn how to fight fair.
Do you believe that?
That's why you have to learn how to fight fair in any relationship, because sometimes you say things and some things you can't take back.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. In the heat of an argument, though,
have I ever said something to you?
You probably have.
But you can't think of anything now.
You probably have.
But you're saying probably. I can remember very, very much things that were detriment to our relationship. So for you to say probably, which means that there's not too much that you can say that I've said to you that I wouldn't say to you when we're not arguing.
Why do I need to sit there and think about what you have said to me? Because I know that you have said things to me that have made me feel a certain way. You don't have to pinpoint any and everything.
But they're not that detriment, because if you can't think of them now,
I probably can't think of them. But why even sit there and think about it?
But what I'm saying to you is that I remember specifically. But you asked me, how did we get divorced? How did we get to this? What was different and all that? And I'm telling you, what did it for me? Everything else, up until that point was one thing. And then even after you and I divorced, like I said to you before in the previous conversation, even during our relationship, because at that point we were married, and it's just that simple.
So wait a minute, hold on. Let's get this shit straight, because this is something. It's always an attack. The man is going to look like it's going to be in me in this situation is attacked on the character who I am as a man. How were you treated as a wife?
I never. Remember, the conversation was not about you calling me out my name. The conversation.
But when you throw it out there, guess what? Oh, she's the damsel in distress, and knowing your ass. You be ready to fight at the drop of a dime.
Listen,
and we got people that can
I'm
testify
just
to
telling
that.
you what happened. I'm sorry that you can't. I'm sorry that it happened the way it happened, but I'm just telling you
bullshit.
what
This dude was sitting there. I got stitches in my head to prove it right now.
Okay, but you married me after that.
I sure did it.
Okay, you got stitches in your head. Okay, but you married me after that. So once you married me after that, you was like, you know what? I forgive you.
It was a Stockholm syndrome. That's what it was. I was a better.
No, you looked at my credit score.
Yeah,
that's what it was. You looked at my credit score. You looked at my.
That's what I looked at your damn credit score.
That's what I'm convinced of.
Now we got to get into some more bullshit. Here we go with this shit. Now you got good credit. I had bad credit. But how was I as a husband to you?
You were an amazing father.
I was an amazing father. That's all she can fucking say. Come on now.
Jerry, you were an amazing father, and I tell you that all the time. I would never take that away from you.
I asked you, how was I as a husband to you? Since we're talking about all this shit, it's all laid out there now. Well, how was I as a husband to you? Did I mistreat you? Did I beat on you?
No, you didn't beat on me.
I called you out your name? Did I not make sure you had all the money you needed to pay the bills?
Matter of fact, I got the paychecks every month.
Every single month?
Every month, I paid. The checks went into our mutual account. Mm-hmm. And
you would do what?
And I would pay our bills.
And you would give me a little change or whatever, and I'll go out and work a part-time job, and I did what?
Right. You would do whatever you need to do because you had a cleaning business on the side.
Yeah. So guess what? How was I? But that's not the be-all, do-all. It's going to be some things that's lacking. You're not going to get a man that's 100% or a woman that's 100%.
Who's saying that? You asking me about the bills, and I'm
no. Okay,
so why are you?
There's this picture that's always painted, and when
I never said anything. Like Numa, you.
This is damsel in distress.
No, I haven't said anything. You asked me about, and what I said to you is, I got all the money.
Yeah, you did.
I made sure that we were both in the military. Mm-hmm. So between the both of us, we did good. Well into six figures.
Right.
And so the kids were well taken care of. The house, all the bills were taken care of. Your credit score was improving through the years we were married. Like, it was a whole thing. Okay.
You know what?
Okay. All right. We ain't gonna forget what you did sliding out the dodo.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm finna slide on it. You see, we got some more bullshit coming up.
Well, Numa, I'm just saying, you bought a whole house in my name.
You know what? You so... Never mind.
Did you not?
You know what, America?
Did you not buy a whole house in my name? No. Before our divorce became final.
When was the house bought?
The house was bought in 2008, 9?
7.
Okay, 7.
6.
Okay,
6 or 7. When I
first came back. But you know as well as I know.
I told you, I said I'm trying to make a hustle move, and I told you this.
Jerry,
you know what?
You know what the kind of woman that I am.
Let me ask you something.
You know the kind of woman that I am. I don't care how much it was. I don't care if you paid $5 for it.
I paid 10.
I don't care what you pay for. What I'm saying to you is pick up your drink. Honey,
I don't even want shit else to drink. Cause you know what? You're trying to tank me right here. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to paint this picture that I was this awful guy.
No,
and that's so far from the goddamn truth.
Numa, I didn't say anything about you being awful. I said to you, these are facts. And when you tell me
that's not a fact.
It's not a fact that you bought
It's not a fact. It's not a fact.
I can pull up the credit report, honey.
Listen.
I can pull up the divorce decree.
You ain't got that even on your damn credit report.
I can pull up the divorce decree, honey. I can pull up everything that you bought a whole house in Arkansas.
Stop it. God damn.
Okay,
are you being
did you or did you not buy a house in my name?
No, I bought it in our name. Because both our names was on the shit.
If you don't stop playing.
If both our names was on the shit.
Would you like me to tell them how it happened?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Well, you go ahead. Talk about it if you want to talk about it. But I think that's bullshit.
But why? But
if I'm doing, listen, this is the problem.
So you was a good husband.
You damn right I was a good husband. You know I was, because there was nothing I wouldn't do for my family. Period.
You're right. You're right. That's why I say you was a damn good father.
But when it came down to you,
was a damn good father.
When it came down to you, you looked at anything. Did you ever have to? Let's talk about this house, right? Did you ever have to spend a dime on this house?
You talking about the house you bought in my name?
Yeah, according to your name. Did you ever have to spend a dime on this house?
No.
Never.
No.
So when you looked at this house and it was part of our business, because when we separated it.
Our business.
Stop for a second. Stop for a second.
Business.
Stop for a second. When we separated at divorce, what happened? What was it part of the divorce decree? Was it a part of or what?
Because I was being generous. Can we move on? Can we move on?
Go ahead. Move on. Move the hell on. Shit.
Okay.
Was he a good husband?
Yes.
Was she a good wife?
Yes, she was.